Hello everyone. Welcome to the show again. This is Richard Tan. Greeting from Singapore, otherwise known as Paradise. Yeah, beside COVID-19, one of the hottest topic today is cryptocurrency. Is the price going up? Is the price coming down? My name is Richard from Success Resources. We are the world leading education provider. Every week, we will be making videos about cryptocurrency. Now, if this is a topic that you are really interested in and want to know more about, do subscribe to the channel, gently tap the thumbs up and also the notification so that whenever we have a video, you are the first to know. So today we want to welcome again my friend, Dr. Clemen Chiang. He is an authority in financial investment and in the financial market. Now, Clemen has done a lot of teaching, speaking, etc. And his wisdom and knowledge in the financial market have helped many people to shortcut their journey to success in creating wealth. So welcome, Dr. Clemen.
Yay! Thanks so much for having me, Richard. So happy to be here once again. Hey, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Clemen, and welcome everyone. Now, when I first woke up this morning, I look at my trading view, right? The market is all red. That's the reason why I wear this red. No, not really. My wife didn't organize for me. It's her fault, right? Didn't organize my shirt for me. So I just picked one and happened to pick a red one. Now, when the market go down and the value of your portfolio decrease, now it's very tempting to ask around, what should I do? Should I pull my money out of the market, or what should I not do? So Dr. Clemen, this is the first question. So instead of then asking everybody, I want to ask you this question so that they can have an opinion on what to do and what not to do when the market go down.
Wow, this is a heavy loaded question, Richard, but it's a very outstandingly great question because this is what we call the Red Sea. and Moses opened up the Red Sea.
Blood, so this is also blood.
Bloodshed in the marketplace. So the way to go through the open Red Sea, there are a few important strategic steps. First of all, I want to share with all of our viewers today, there are 3 major milestones in our generation that help us kind of go through the Red Sea, survive and prosper and make a lot of money. So I'm going to switch over my screen right over here. And first of all, we're going to jump straight to look at one of the most successful, the greatest company of all time, and that's none other than Amazon.com, right? And as we know, Jeff Bezos will be flying up to the moon on 20th of July, and that's the reason why he has to step down from his role as a CEO. And just in case anything happens, the company is still ongoing basis, is sound and fine. But I'm going to use Amazon as a case study because why? We're going to look back in the days of the year 2000. You know, Richard, you and myself gone through the year 2000 .com boom and bust. And oftentimes, the new millennials have forgotten the important lessons that we took home back then. And that's the reason why it gives us this opportunity to really kind of cultivate the new generation of traders. So 2000 .com bust. Step 1, we identified the highest price of Amazon stock price back then. All right, and I'm going to correlate this everything back to crypto in a short while. I'm going to take 3 steps. Step 1, we are right here. And from this higher point, the highest price right there, I'm going to draw a horizontal line right across it. Now, this horizontal line is to establish when is the next break-even price, just to recover from the red ocean, right? So the bloody red ocean is right here below, and I kind of able to pinpoint to the year 2000. And that was known as the internet.com crash. But amazingly, for those of you brave-hearted and hang out for the ride, for how long? About 10 years. As long as you don't sell at a loss, 10 years, you will break even. And not only break even, you will break even with great prosperity because you see, at the break-even price for someone who waited 10 years until the price restored back to $110, Mama, today you are making on 10 times because the price is already right now more than 10 times. It's like, oh my gosh, that's 37 times of your money because today Amazon is trading at $3,700 right here. This is the first example. And I'm going to push on even further right now. From this first example, I'm going to look at what happened back in the days of the 2008 financial crisis crash. So 2008 financial crisis crash, again, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of go to the period of 2008 and kind of give everyone the perspective. And what is the perspective? Step one, at the highest point of 2008, and how long it took to break even, right? So that time Dow Jones was trading at 14,000. We draw a vertical line down here. The peak was at 2007, end of the quarter. And then we drop another vertical line down here. That's our 2013. So literally, that's just 5 years to break even. Dot-com crash, 10 years. Financial crisis crash, 5 years to break even. And final example I'm going to give all of our audience here today, and that's none other than the pandemic crash. Holy moly. The pandemic crash is right here. And how long it took for us to recover. I mean, I'm going to spread a little bit out here so everyone can see it really clearly. And, you know, you all don't miss out on this great, great opportunity. The drop started in February, right? And then we kind of drop it down to November. Again, what are we seeing? 10 months just to break even. So let's sum up. Dot-com crash, 10 years.
10 years.
All right. Financial crisis crash, 5 years.
5 years.
Pandemic crash, 10 months. So what the market has taught us is this. Over time, the market becomes smarter and smarter. They have reduced the amount of time required for us to break even. Now, we set this up as the first major context. Right now, I'm going to dive into Bitcoin already. And for Bitcoin, this is the moment in time. Today, we are trading at 32,000. Now, I'm going to highlight to all of you. Now, if you are looking at this period here, 30 to 40,000, and you proclaim, wow, holy moly, we spotted the Red Sea. And we consider this red box as the Red Sea. No problem. Just remember how it looks like. What's the pattern? What's the shape? I'm going to perform the magic in front of everybody right now. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the time, just like recently we dropped from all-time high of 64,000. We're going to go back to the time when it hit the peak. And that was in the year 2017. So here we go. I'm going to lead all of our audience here, go through the journey together with me, all right? And I'm going to set this up right now. And once it's set up, I'm going to demonstrate to all of you. Ready? Here we go. This is Bitcoin. And this is the year 2017, January. Back then, it was trading at $1,150 per coin. How we wish we can buy that again. Okay, but no problem, all right? This is no different from last year when we started the Bitcoin halving, 8,000 trading up all the way to 64,000. So let me show you what exactly happened in the market. All right, I want you guys to focus right here where the green box is, right here, all right? And here we go. From 1,000, start to shoot up. And this is April already. Come to May, shoot up to 2,000. June, shoot up to 3,000. July, kind of float around, drop back down to 2,000. August, shoot up to 3,000, 4,000. Wow. And then kind of shoot up again, float around sideways. September, back to 4,000. October, shoot up to 5,000. And then kind of November, float back to 6,000. And then come to December, mama, 19,000. That's how we hit an all-time high. But from that point onwards, it starts to drop. And this is the really, really, really fun part, all right? This is the really, really fun part. Because I'm going to show all of us here today, what are we looking at? This is the zone which is very similar to what we are looking at right now, the 8,000, 6,000 zone. No different from our recent drop of the high, right, Richard? It just went drop like this and then start to float sideways. So I'm preparing the committee right now for what's to come. We're going to learn from back then the all-time high of 19,000, come down, crash to 7,000, float sideways, and ready? Here we go. It will further drop to test those who have the faith, the brave heart. In fact, it dropped all the way to 3,000. Now,
Wow.
that was the
19,000.
shadow of the valley of death. They call it. And you know what, Richard? At this point, most people given up already. And this is the perfect time. The brave heart starts to come back, go back to 6,000. And once go back to 6,000, and it start to shoot up. Go all the way back to 13,000. All right. Now, I want to show all of our audience here today because this journey of the Red Sea is very common for us playing Bitcoin. Just remember from what I started sharing here today, and that is never ever sell at a loss. Hang on for the ride, because those who hang on for the ride, holy moly, see for yourself right now, they went all the way to $64,000. That is what Bitcoin is all about. In an infant stage of the technology of this Bitcoin blockchain, it will go through this severe period of volatility, otherwise known as the Red Sea. Now, what have we learned from the stock market? .com crash, 10 years. Financial crisis crash, 5 years.
Yes.
Pandemic crash, 10 months. And for Bitcoin, this Red Sea is much, much shorter than the stock market.
Wow.
You don't have to wait 10 years, 5 years, and 10 months. This is a much shorter duration. And that's the reason why we got to hang in for the ride over there, Richard.
Okay, man, for all of you who are watching this, even if the market is red with your blood, it's still okay. Because just hang on, okay? Now, some of the my next question for Dr. Clemen, probably you've answered partly in your last answer, but I still ask you anyway, right? Now, Bitcoin has bounced between 31,500 to 34,800 roughly for the last 2 weeks. Is it likely to drop much further? You mentioned about Michael Saylor in the last video. His average Bitcoin price is $26,080, right? Now, is this one of the support that we are going to see soon, or what are the other possible scenario that's coming up?
Wow, this is a great question. And again, you know, we're going to go back to look at the Bitcoin chart right here and give some context to this question. So step one, what we do, we are looking at the year 2021 right below here. All right. And then we mark out our 40,000 to the 30,000 box, which is exactly this period here. Then step two, again, we mark out the 40,000 to the 30,000 rate box, which is right here. And then we establish the Michael Saylor's price, which is 26,080, which is somewhere around here. Now, what I've effectively plotted out in front of everybody is to show and demonstrate to you, this is exactly what went through back then in the year 2017, Bitcoin hitting an all-time high of 19,000, dropped down to 7,000, 8,000 range, and then further drop down to 3,000 and then plunge up again. So we are expecting right now a completely different environment, because you have a crazy guy called Michael Saylor who owns 100,000 Bitcoin. This guy will not put himself in a Red Sea because he has another $1 billion cash on standby ready to pump up. So what we are seeing is that in the event there is a drop, how the drop will happen is this. And I've been circulating this among the whales of the Bitcoin market. What will most likely happen is they will drop, touch his price, and his whole army of people will ram it up. They will protect his price. And that's the reason why we are looking at 32,000 being tested for 3 times. Here we go. How do we know 32,000 as a price has been tested for 3 times? I'm going to change it to a 15-minute candle. This is a 15-minute candle. So step one, this is the first test, 32,000. Just happened last night. We touched 32,077. All right. And then I kind of start to move to see the second instant when it will touch 32,000. And I start to move. And, I want to change this to 1 hour so that I can move faster. One more time. So this is 32,000. One more time. All right. This is the first time, 32,000. And I move. The second time was right here, 30,000. Kind of touched the 32,000 range. And the third time was here, 28,000. And there's one more time to test. Here we go. Move a bit more. And here we go. We touched 31,000. Fourth time already. And that's it. All right. So we tested this price kind of 4 times in a row. And the recent 15-minute candle is telling us a very, very clear signal. And what is the signal? Here we go. I'm going to draw a arrow across to the 32,000 range. This is exactly 32,000. And if I enlarge it with a rectangular box right now, from here, stretch to 33,000, this seems to be the mature price at this moment. This is 15-minute. And then I switch it back to 1 hour to retest this 32,000 theory. And what did we observe? Here we go. Again, I start from 32,000 right here and all the way to the 34,000 range. And what did we observe? This range has been tested for many times already. So seems like 32,000 is the stable price. But, for some of you who want to get a much better discount, the lowest that you can really aim for is to go for 26,080. That's Michael Saylor's price. But anywhere in between 26 to 32, that's an $8,000 difference. This is the range already. So if you are today getting like 32,000 sharp, congratulations. That is a really nice price to back in. And I'm going to give you the clearest signal to back up your price. That is none other than 21st of July, where Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey will face off at the B plan.
Wow. Okay. That would be very exciting.
Yeah. And my prediction on that day is this. Elon Musk will not accept Bitcoin because we already know the theory why he has to denounce Bitcoin because of the Great China. Chinese are going after Bitcoin. Chinese are also going after stocks that are listed in the US market, like Didi crashed recently. 3 days after the IPO, the Chinese government dropped a bombshell, caused the stock price to crash. So that is the reason why Elon Musk cannot publicly announce that he's going to accept Bitcoin. He'll be thrown out of China the next day. All right. Back to you, Richard.
Hey, well, for all of us supporters of Bitcoin, we want to make sure that this news, we are all prepared for it. So thank you, Clemen, for that highlight again. Now, we are organizing the Global Bitcoin Festival. Now, because of this event, I've been doing some research and study the facts, etc. I come across Cathie Wood, and the more I study about her and learn about her, I find that she is known as the Warren Buffett of the tech world because she predicted many tech companies way ahead of the industry. For example, Art Invest, which she founded, was the first investor, among the first investor of Tesla when Tesla was like going nowhere. But she predicted the trend of electric car and driverless car and many other things, right? Now, her fund beat all other by huge result. Now, she also mentioned in her diagnosis of the future market that payment will be a big thing, right? Payment will be a big thing. Now, she mentioned that when internet was first conceived, it never planned for e-commerce and payment was not built in, right? In the internet, it's only come a bit later. Now, the trend now is DeFi, decentralized finance, etc. And when the market catch up, a lot of high net worth people will put at least, she says, will put at least 1 to 5% of their portfolio into crypto because of this payment usage. And she extrapolate that if the high net worth recognizes and put 1 to 5% of their portfolio into crypto, and majority, of course, will go to Bitcoin, and that will bring Bitcoin price to 500,000. And she say all these things with a backing of Nobel Prize economists who she worked with very closely. So Dr. Clemen, what do you think were of her analysis of Bitcoin and the market that is going to come?
This is a huge story, Richard. Thank you for bringing this up to our audience attention, because when we talk about Cathie Woods and ARK Invest, that she's known for as the portfolio manager, everybody is really focused on what she's looking at next, because she has been hitting the whole era of ETFs. So I'm going to kind of share with the audience right here, where are the big ETFs that we are talking about and how we can possibly get involved in what Cathie Wood is thinking about right here. This is the ARK Invest ETF page, and we are really interested in to know what is the next emerging technology or trend. So she has ARK Innovation, Autonomous Tech and Robotics, Next Generation Internet, Genomics Revolution, FinTech Innovation, and Space Exploration. Now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 6 really huge ETFs. But what is exciting is recently, on 29th of June, she announced to CNBC that she has filed an application for the Bitcoin ETF under the symbol ARKB. This is important, all right? So once we see this, and then we kind of understand what is the thinking behind a Bitcoin ETF, we scroll down to the very last part, which, you know, Richard, you have highlighted to us, and which is so important, which is right here. She is saying that she sees a future of Bitcoin as a part of a balanced investment portfolio. ARK Invest estimate that if 1% of the corporate cash in bank of every company in the S&P 500, and we're just talking about 500 of the companies in this basket. We are not talking about there's over 1 million companies out there with cash in bank, all right? Were converted into Bitcoin, then the asset price would balloon by more than 40,000 from its current levels. If the cash level is increased to 10% from each company is a broader index, stock index, Bitcoin price would likely increase by more than $400,000. This is huge. Now we take what she's saying and we want to triangulate. Is she the only one who believes in this? Because if she is the only one who believes in this, there's no point to discuss further already. What we want to do, we want to triangulate. And we came across this really huge article on 20th of June saying that Bitcoin price can hit 450,000, which is pretty close to what Cathie Wood has predicted. 400,000 plus 30,000, she predicted about 430,000. This one is predicting about 450,000. And in this one, even give us the worst case scenario from Plan B. 135,000 is the worst case scenario. So to sum it up, there are 3 things that we can learn from here. First, is Cathie Wood a really big heroine in the area of ETF? Now, she's really a legend in this space, always forward-looking or emerging trend. Number 2, did she put her money where her mouth is? Yes. She filed her application ARKB as a Bitcoin ETF waiting for SEC for approval. Number 3, is her prediction accurate? Yes, because she's not the only one predicting 400,000. There are many legendary crypto analysts also giving the same prediction price about 400,000. And that's the reason why this woman is a legend.
And the last video, Clemen also predicted that it would be 5,000 because you analyzed the gold, the market cap of gold, remember?
Yes.
So it's 4 to 5. Wow, it's amazing. So hang on, viewers, hang on to whatever you're holding right now, Bitcoin, don't panic. And there will be lights and sunshine down the road, okay? Now, so as I mentioned that we are organizing the Global Bitcoin Festival. It is a gathering of industrial expert and enthusiastic community of Bitcoin holder to update, promote, educate, and adoption of Bitcoin. So Dr. Clemen, who do you think we should invite to be speaking in this festival, and why do you choose them?
Wow. You know, Richard, top of my list is actually Elon Musk himself from Tesla. And, I bought a Tesla car just like you do. Mine is arriving end of this month. I'm so excited. Can't go for my first ride. So Elon Musk must be the first person on our priority list because he's such a visionary and he got so many millions of followers out there. I'll put him as number one. The second guy that really we should invite is none other than Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy. Now, he has owned 100,000 Bitcoins when he only started buying really last year, right after the Bitcoin halving event started way back in August last year. So,
I mean, high price.
He not even 1 year into the game, he already owned 100,000. I mean, we got to set him up as the benchmark. Next guy is Jack Dorsey because he owns Square, which is a payment company, which is really, really important for us to look at Bitcoin as a store of value, and finally for us to migrate Bitcoin into an era of as a payment value. So Square can make that vision come true. And of course, we are also looking at Marathon Digital Holdings. This is also one of the early pioneers into Bitcoin. And that's the reason why they are into mining. And mining is such a big topic right now for looking at energy efficiency on mining Bitcoin itself. Next, I'm thinking really head off the list for Wall Street, and that's Coinbase founder, Brian Armstrong. Oh my gosh, this guy has done what we call giving legitimacy to Bitcoin and cryptos community. When he rang the bell on Wall Street, and this is really, really huge for all of us. And of course, there are many other candidates that are really up on the list, but what I really want to see are the top Bitcoin holders on the wallets inside Binance. On the top 3 list, I know 2 of them who are extremely stealth, and that's why I'm a convert, because I literally seen, oh my gosh, how much is their portfolio? It's huge. And these are just like any other ordinary folks around us, but they have a strong conviction at the very beginning. They are rewarded handsomely today because they went in early days with a big risk, and today they are reaping the big rewards. So the question back to all of our audience is, you know what? Are you seeing the opportunity? Are you clouded by the risk, or are you have the conviction to see the rewards of the future, where we call Bitcoin the major number one asset that will create generational wealth? And that is the awesome part about identifying all these superheroes of the Bitcoin world.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Clemen, for your thought of the speaker. We will certainly write to all this that you have mentioned, and some of them are in our list, some are not, but we will really, really write to them and request their presence, right, at the Global Bitcoin Festival. Now, today we have many people online, and we will accept a few questions. So if you have any question for Dr. Clemen, you can type down so that we can see your questions. We appreciate your suggestion, etc. Okay, there's one question here from Veronica in Singapore. She says, Dr. Clemen, would you recommend to invite Cathie Wood to speak too?
Oh, yes. Cathie Wood, we don't invite her as a speaker. We invite her as a platinum sponsor. She has the budget, and and because she is so forward-looking, and one of the big things that she has been doing is going around sponsoring key major crypto events. Like for the upcoming, the B plan, she's the number one sponsor of the event. And that's the reason why we want her thinking about ETF. We want her updates on her application for UPB. And we also want her to give the audience, among the audience who are ladies and women that live of the spirit, the woman power. She is really the heroine in this space right here.
Okay, great. Now we have another question from Jade, all the way from Malaysia. Now she says that, Dr. Clemen, we noticed that the name that you mentioned are prominent people, right? Do you have anyone in Asia that will also match your criteria to share at the Global Bitcoin Festival, to contribute so that we can feel identified with them?
Wow, that's a great question. In fact, yesterday there was a big FT article. And this article, what it says is that right now, because of the clampdown of regulation across the world, many of all these big honchos of crypto company-based companies, they are right now flying in and staying in Singapore itself. So I want to read out to you. I mean, some of these names, these are really, really huge. And the article is called Crypto Groups Shelter in Singapore as a Global Regulators Crackdown. So on this particular article itself, it was mentioned Binance CZ, for example. We also mentioned about Vitalik from Ethereum. And we also mentioned about Roger Ver of Bitcoin Cash. And these are really superheroes, and many of them has already set up base here in Singapore. And one of the more prominent US company is none other than Gemini.com as well. They are right now heavily recruiting their staff. I last read their staff count has going to be increased to over 60 staff based right out here in Singapore. So, this is a really, really exciting time. Singapore right now is kind of a haven for these crypto players, as the regulators start to craft out law, which is very friendly. And that's why we are reading about the sandbox that MAS is introducing. And we are also looking at a potential digital coin for Singapore dollar as well. So great question. Thank you very much for asking that question.
Thank you so much. Now, for those of you who are here live, right, at this video program here, that's because you are the earliest supporter of the Global Bitcoin Festival, and we invite you here so that you can have the information before we upload this to YouTube for the public. So thank you so very, very, very much. Now, Dr. Clemen, now for many people who will be watching this video a bit later when we update, when we upload, then what have you got to say to those who are interested in Bitcoin, and how they can benefit from attending the Global Bitcoin Festival so that they can have the best information and be involved in the Bitcoin movement?
Wow, that's very, very great question. And I want to lead you all to the 3-step flow once again. Step 1, I shared with you all in 2017 when Bitcoin hit the all-time high of 19,000, dropped down and kind of float between 7,000 to 8,000 range. We are right now in that same phase at between 30 to 40,000 range. This is step 1, very important. You recognize that, you don't see it as a red ocean, you see it as a great, great opportunity to come. Then step 2, because leading up to the Global Bitcoin Festival, there are several key events that's going to take shape in the marketplace. And that's the reason why the earlier that you sign up and connect with us and be part of our movement, you're going to be updated. And with each update, what you will cultivate is a very deep sense of commitment and conviction to our movement and our cry for the movement. And that is this: Bitcoin ETF waiting for announcement right now. Major announcement coming out from Carl Icahn and George Soros, who already set aside $1 billion ready to buy Bitcoin. We also look at major countries out there, putting Bitcoin as a legal tender, with El Salvador being the first to take the lead. And all this will lead towards the event around October when we have the Global Bitcoin Festival, building up the momentum. So at any point in time when it's breaking between 30 to 40,000 range, you are the first to know. And that's why it's important that you connect with us. First to know, even before we put out the video to the public. You already know where to look out for. You already know what to do with your USDT in your crypto account, how to withdraw, how to deposit, how to buy. These are the details that we're going to dive into, right? And right now we're setting up the stage so that you are warm-up phase. You are trained as a warrior, a ranger, ready to fight the battle with us, all right? So this is very important. And if Cathie Wood prediction come to pass, which is 400,000, just like B plan prediction come to pass, which is 400,000, and the worst case about 100,000, you are looking at November, December for the peak. And that's why our Global Bitcoin Festival is positioned around October, and that is the precise window. So look at it right now. This is the phase one. We are going through the training phase, build up within you the conviction. Phase two, leading to the event of the Global Bitcoin Festival, where all these superheroes will be lined up, and they're going to speak to you. You have a chance to connect with them. And I can tell you, early birds, you have the nearest exposure to these great speakers, all right? So you got to go really, really early, snap up the front row seats. We're going to do something special for you guys. And finally, right after the event, you're ready for the big spike to the moon.
Hey, thank you, Dr. Clemen. Thank you, every one of you who participate. Thank you for those who have signed up for the Global Bitcoin Festival. I want to wish you wealth, health, and happiness in your life. Thank you, Clemen, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.